all you who have contributed work. I understand how much goes into an exhibition of this kind, not only in studios, but in making this, the communications involved, and the hanging of the work and the transport and so on. So it's no mean feat. So we'll start on a note of congratulation about that. Art begins in a whole variety of ways. Painting begins in a whole variety of ways. I think an occasion like this is so important because the work has come out of the studios. And I think, you know, in these days of, shall I mention this virus? Yes. Artists are really some of the specialists in self-isolation or whatever they're meant to do. You know, they know about that. Making art is, for many artists, a pretty lonely pursuit. So occasions like this, to bring the work out of the studio, bring the artists out of the studio, are very special and important, I think. In the Dark is your subject. These are dark times. One of you at least has referred to dark times in the work. I read statements that some of you have written and so on. I'm not going to speak about particular work, anything like that. But just a few thoughts. Although I'm very interested in all these works, I found works made of all sorts of materials. I mean, obviously there's dyed work and work in oil and work in acrylic and acrylic ink. I found work involving feathers and feces, even. Stand well back. No, it's fine. Photograph. All sorts of imaginative things. How does one interpret a starting point like In the Dark? Rage, rage, rage against the dying of the light. Some of you will know that. It's a line from a poem by Dylan Thomas. Do not go gentle into that good night. The dying of the light. Dark nearly always has it to do with contrast. We perceive darkness by its contrast with light. The darkest shadows are cast by the brightest lights, I think. We know of certain terms in art that are associated with light and dark and so on. You'll be familiar with these, I guess. But chiaroscuro, clear, obscure. Tenebrism. Tenebrism, which conjures up ideas of gloominess, but importantly for many people, mystery. And I notice a number of people in their statements say that they have thought about this subject in relation to ideas that are somewhat mysterious. There's a sense in the creative processes that somebody referred to in a note of it being a mystery. You know, many artists begin in all sorts of ways. Some will begin with a very clear idea, some will just begin with materials and so on, and then enter into a sort of dialogue with the materials. You know, Jackson Pollock made that famous remark, didn't he? It's only when I get acquainted with my painting. You know, after a period, I get acquainted with it. And then there becomes some sort of dialogue and all sorts of adjustments and alterations and things that keep people up through the night working, trying to work out, adjusting a colour or whatever. Working through the night. We are lucky, aren't we? We have artificial light. Think about it. there's a famous painting of Goya in his studio, a rather extraordinary one, self-portrait in workshop. Famous because he's got candles in his hat. Imagine that. Imagine Rembrandt painting. He didn't have artificial light, whatever. So we're fortunate in many ways. Goya, I've mentioned. Poor man, deaf, almost deaf at 46, through a fever. Gosh, we must keep washing our hands. So. Made a fantastic series of paintings known as the Black Paintings. Some of you will know those, I think. Rembrandt, The Night Watch. There's quite a lot of the night about darkness, I think. I make paintings that are distilled. What you said about me was very good, I thought. Not what I'd written, but I was happy with what you read. They're sort of distilled, they're very quiet, they take me a long time to make, and I think they take people a long time to look at. I am somebody who the Derby Evening Telegraph, gosh, one does get write-ups, and once commented upon these paintings all look the same. They don't, but it depends how hard you look, really. So one of my favourite painters is an absolute specialist in blackness, and this is Ad Reinhardt, an American artist. Ad Reinhardt makes works that to many people do all appear the same, black. What is hidden in them, in the depths of them, is great subtlety in their making. So there are layers of colour, though it looks pristine. And you have, if you spend time, reddish blacks and greenish blacks and bluish blacks and so on. They're almost unreproducible. One has to see them. And for many people, they simply remain in their minds as a thing. It was almost a kind of moral pursuit, this, of Reinhardt. He talked about them as ultimate paintings. I'm pleased not everybody thought they were the ultimate paintings, because you wouldn't have your paintings if you did that. But it's that time that it takes to adjust and to look at things. Any art takes time. And we owe it to the artist to try and spend time just engaging till perhaps we have a feeling about something. You know, not necessarily completely understanding. Not all artists understand their own work. That's okay, I think. Sometimes understanding comes after years. Sometimes understanding or an idea comes out of a little conversation on an evening like this. Somebody says, well, this made me think of such and such. And that's good. I was going to just conclude by reading a poem, far better than anything I could have written. So I hope you will just indulge me while it's not very long, while I read this poem. And it seemed to me relevant to the kind of looking, the kind of, if we look a bit outside art, adjustments that we have to make in life when it is dark, maybe. So this is a poem by the great American poet Emily Dickinson. It was written in 1862. And it's called We Grow Accustomed to the Dark. We grow accustomed to the dark when light is put away, as when the neighbour holds the lamp to witness her goodbye. A moment we uncertain step for newness of the night, then fit our vision to the dark and meet the road erect. And so of larger darknesses, those evenings of the brain when not a moon disclose a sign or star come out within. The bravest grope a little and sometimes hit a tree directly in the forehead, but as they learn to see, either the darkness alters or something in the sight adjusts itself to midnight and life steps almost straight. Thank you all very much and enjoy these.